Storm clouds gather over the India-US trading corridor. US President Trump has declared a stinging 25% import tariff on Indian goods.
And that's not all, of course. He also said that there would be a penalty for India's continued purchase of Russian oil.
Now, in a post on his platform Truth Social, Trump asserted that while India is a friend, trade relations between the two countries, US and India, have remained limited due to what he described as excessive tariffs and restrictive non-monetary barriers.
However, just hours after this announcement, Trump said that the United States is still negotiating with India. Trump told reporters that India has one of the highest tariffs in the world, but they are willing to cut it very substantially.
As you know, Prime Minister Modi is a friend of mine, but they don't do very much business in terms of business with us. They sell a lot to us, but we don't buy from them. You know why? Because the tariff is so high. They have one of the highest tariffs in the world. Now they're willing to cut it very substantially, but we'll see what happens. We're talking to India now. We'll see what happens.
India's Ministry of Commerce says that it is studying its implications of the move. New Delhi says that it will take all steps necessary to secure India's national interests.
Now, this explosive move comes just 2 days before a self-declared trade deadline, derailing months of negotiations. India had already rolled back tariffs on key American goods like Harley-Davidson bikes and bourbon whiskey. Talks were advancing towards a broader trade accord, and yet Trump did what he always does, bargain with the bombshell. The same playbook he used with Japan and the Philippines, now thrown at North Bloc.
But India isn't blinking. New Delhi has repeatedly maintained that energy access is linked to national security and that as a sovereign nation, India will buy from a diverse pool of partners, be it Russia, the Gulf or the US itself. Now, while Trump says that New Delhi treats America unfairly when it comes to trade, the numbers show a different reality here. While the US reports a $44.4 billion trade deficit with India, experts point out that the picture changes dramatically when you include revenues from education, digital services, financial operations, royalties and even weapons. And in fact, the US enjoys a $35 to $40 billion net surplus with India instead. And this is according to GTRI data.
All right, to discuss the implications of this, we're now being joined by Gaurav Sansanwal from Washington, D.C. He is a fellow for India Chair, Emerging Asia Economics at Center for Strategic and International Studies. Thank you so much for joining us on World DNA.
Thanks, Sam. Thanks so much. Thanks, Sharon.
Let's just begin by, of course, first understanding the implications of this. If there isn't a trade deal, how do you see India-US trade ties evolve? And what do you think will be the practical implications of this?
Well, I think there is no question that the trade deal is definitely delayed. It is not going to happen by August 1, but doesn't mean the trade deal is dead. Because yes, this is unprecedented in that unlike previous times when there have been sporadic tariffs on iron and steel and some other sectors, this time this affects everything. That includes, say, an Apple smartphone manufactured in India. It could include the refined petroleum goods that India sells to the US. It could include generic pharmaceuticals. So it's a wide spectrum of sectors. So in that it is unprecedented. But that's all the more reason why a way has to be found. So there is no other way but to sit and negotiate. Because I fear this is not the final word. If it is being used as a leverage, then we may see some more back and forth from the US president as well. And India would therefore look to still close the deal. And a team from US is still scheduled to go out to India mid-August. So I think, yes, this is a setback. This is an irritant. But I think the deal is still the only way out of this, because this is definitely not plausible or sustainable in the long run.
Gaurav, Trump's back and forth, let me just take it a little further from there. This is right down the regular playbook. Say something which shocks everybody, makes headlines across the world, and then perhaps that is what Trump hopes, that it gets the country to come out and quickly finalize on a deal. But India is not one to be rushed. I think that the entire world knows by now. And even the statement that came out from India last evening made it clear that these negotiations have been on for months, and India is not going to get rushed into it because the deadline is approaching. And we've seen Trump push that deadline itself. So everything seems fluid when it comes to the US president, but wants the other nations to kind of come to the line as quickly as possible. As of now, what kind of options do you feel India has to get to that deal as early as possible?
I think there are two things, Shivan. One is that we have to remember that these costs will be passed on to American consumers. So
Right.
while Delhi is feeling the heat, the costs will actually be borne by American consumers. And so that is the first handle. The longer this goes on, American consumers get hurt in the supermarkets, in the grocery stores. That is one. Second thing is, India has just concluded a fantastic free trade agreement with the UK. And that is likely to give a preferred route of access to UK firms into India. And so US can't be sitting on the sidelines and watching UK get preferred access in India. So that's also going to, I think, play a bit of a role here. So I think the way out of this for India is A, to continue negotiating and continue to obviously work things out at the table. But B, India has obviously been a very open country in the last few years when it comes to signing free trade agreements. We've seen them do it with the UAE, we've seen them do it with Australia, now the UK. And I think that itself, with India opening up its markets to others, but not to US, would continue to, also help, get US to understand that if it wants to not miss out on the huge opportunity that India presents, then it has to negotiate. So yes, it's a leverage, but let's not underestimate the fact that this is not something that's going to affect India alone. It will affect both the countries.
You put it absolutely accurately, Gaurav. Thanks so much for making time and joining us, sharing all those insights. While, of course, this is an irritant and shouldn't be seen as anything more than that, even US would not want to miss out on the pie that is the Indian market, which most other countries are making the most of at this point. That was Gaurav Sansanwal joining us from Washington, D.C. Pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks so much, Sean. Thank you. Thanks, Sam.